Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And I'm going to repeat that. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The battles we face as Christians are not physical. Every form of oppression, being it man or circumstances, is spiritual. When we are faced by violent people, those people have subject themselves to the influence of violent spirits. We cannot afford not to see everything as spiritual. But as much as we may have many spiritual enemies, we are not without defense. God has equipped us, and He covers us to ensure that the enemy will never overthrow us, no matter what. We have to remember that some of those relatives, even little kids, friends, strangers, has evil spirits in them. When we can't fathom, why would somebody do such a horrible thing? Why is these little girls out here shouting at preachers on the streets? We got to remember that the devil has brought these evil spirits to overcome such people who do not have Christ in their life. We are all vessels. Our body is vessels. And these vessels have to be filled with some kind of spirit. Either it's a spirit from God, or it's filled with evil spirits. That's why it's very important to stay close in the Word of God. Because we don't want our vessel to become empty. Because when it is empty and we don't have the Spirit of God in us, we're leaving it open. It's an open house. With an open house, anybody can jump in there, any spirit. Here's the thing about casting out demons and evil spirits in somebody. You can go up to somebody and cast them out. Cast out all those demons, right? And then you walk away, you think you've done your job. But if that person, even after you cast them out, does not begin to fill their vessel with cleanliness and with the Spirit of God, all you do is cast out a demon and send it out. And what's this going to do? It's going, because it has no home, it's going to come back and see if it's empty. And if it's empty, it's going to make its home there. And then when it's going to leave and go and get 7 more evil spirits. There's a lot of people that say, oh, them casting out demons don't work. Because we cast out the demon of this person, and then 2 weeks later, there was more often what they was. That's because they didn't fill their vessel with God. You may have cast out those demons, or just that one evil spirit. But what happened was, because that person didn't bring themselves completely to God, it left that vessel open. So what that spirit did was go and get 7 more powerful demons than itself to home in that vessel. Because you made it mad and made it leave, so now it came back to that home to stake it as him. But what it does, it goes and gets 7 more powerful. That's why those people end up being made worse off than they was when you cast out the first evil spirit. You have to fill your vessel with something. A lot of people don't want to believe in spirits or religions or anything like this, but here's the thing. Your body is just nothing but a flesh and an empty vessel. And something has to be in there. It's got to be some kind of spirit be living in here. Because when you die, the spirit leaves. Your soul leaves. What kind of spirit is going to be in you when your flesh dies? It's only going to go to one or two places. Where do you want your spirit to go? What are you feeding your vessel? Same is true when it comes to your body. What you put into it matters. What you put into your vessel matters. Or you can contaminate your body just living off of junk food and this and that and just not go nowhere and do nothing. How you treat your body matters on what kind of effect are you going to have on your body. Those who don't take care of it, you can tell. Same thing when it comes to your car, the maintenance on it. If you don't do no maintenance on it, that car is not going to run very long. And it's going to be no good. No use to nobody, not even to yourself and to it or to itself. It's just no longer, it's going to be done. Because you need to keep the upkeep on it. You need to keep the maintenance on it. Now, those who have those and have taken care of it, it mattered what they did to it. It mattered the maintenance on it. Would have that same vehicle and it would last for years and years and years. And then one person's like, well, you know, mine only lasts for the good 5 years. And they just think, no, it must not be a good vehicle. I just don't trust that make and that model. No, it was you. It was the owner. Because there's people that have same makes and models of the same car that's still running completely good, don't have nothing wrong with it. But they kept up the maintenance on it. The upkeep was phenomenal. And it's still going strong in its good old years. A lot of people's like, oh, I don't want to buy a car because it has too many miles on it. Let me tell you something when it comes to cars. I may not be a mechanic, but I do know this. It really does not matter about the mileage on there. What matters was the maintenance done to that vehicle. There's a lot of cars that have a lot of mileage on there, but it's still a good vehicle because the maintenance that was done to it was on time perfect. So therefore, it doesn't matter how many miles was on there, that car is still going to go. But people just treat it like, you know, you got too many miles, I'm going to pass up on it. Same thing when it comes to the elderly people. He's a little bit too old. But some of those older people can outwork and outdo them younger people that is too lazy and don't want to do nothing. You can't always be judging a book by its cover. It's the inside that matters. It's how well it was kept. So it matters what is inside your vessel. It matters what you do to your body for maintenance. On how long it will last. A lot of us can have the Spirit of God in us. But if we allowed it to come in and that's all we did, and we don't keep up with nothing, because, oh, we're good, I know I got the Spirit of God in me, that's what God is referring to lukewarm people. He'd rather you be hot or cold. Either you're on fire for me or you don't know me at all. But those who think you're good and okay because, oh, I know I got the Spirit of God in me, and you just leave it at that and you don't do nothing else about it, you're worse off than not ever knowing God at all. Because at least they have a reason. They don't know God. And they got a chance to get to know Him. But you think you're okay just because you know Him. But you ain't doing no maintenance. Car can't run without gas. Oh, but I've already put gas in there. Yeah, but you've been driving it for a while, so the gas is done run low. You got to fill it back up. Same thing was referring to about those oil lamps for the 10 virgins that was waiting to be married. They bought extra oil so that the oil would not run out. You got to keep your lamp. You got to keep some extra oil. God is your oil. The Bible is your oil. It's your gas. You can't just say I got a lamp. What good is a lamp without oil? What good is just saying I know God without getting to know Him by staying in the world? You got to fill yourself up with more. It's an everyday, keep occurring thing. Not just a one-time.